Hello, everyone, and welcome back. We've got more China action. LD, rise and shine. How you feeling?
Good. I had a shower. Just woke up.
You look fresh. You look fresher than I do. So maybe my lack of haircut,
That's not very hard.
which I've been saying. Yeah, no, it's not. I've been saying I'd get a haircut for 3 days now.
Yeah. I guess you've only been saying it for 3 days.
Happening today.
Technically, that's true.
I finished TongFu IG. Then I'm not straight to the hairdresser. It won't open until 9. But 9 a.m. I am straight to the hairdresser.
Okay.
So if I haven't by tomorrow's games, then you can blame me more.
Okay.
But
I'll limit it to a dull roar, which was, I think, where I was at here. So, TongFu IG.
Yep.
Best of 3 here. Do you have a strong favorite? This is, of course, lower bracket action, as Newbie already took down IG.
Yeah. IG favorites for sure. TongFu got 2-0'd by Ehome, I believe, in the winner bracket. IG had a close series, which they lost, unfortunately. So I think IG come in as pretty heavy favorites.
All right.
I don't know. We'll drop it in the draft, though. I think the picks will kind of, I feel like very much you can gather a lot from the drafts now, and that's where we've seen some of the upsets happen, has been from the draft.
So looking at the draft early on, first overall Tuskar pick. This is not, it shouldn't surprise anyone, but I feel like almost nobody actually does this. Like I'll often see him like as a second pick, but rarely first overall, especially in Europe. Queen of Pain, Night Stalker, the 2 grabs here for TongFu. And Lina will be the reply by IG. Of course, one of Chuan's signature heroes for sure, along with the Sand Cane, which we often even get banned like 4th, 5th in the draft.
I see the Lina picked up a lot in response to Queen of Pain as well in China. It seems like if you're at one of the team's first pick or picks up a Queen of Pain with their double pick, the Lina often comes out as an answer. The main thing you have to look out for is Queen of Pain can be flexible. You can send Queen of Pain to a side lane. You can basically not send the quad mid versus Lina. And the Lina, again, like you mentioned, is a Chuan signature hero, so IG are flexible themselves. This Lina Tusk opening duo is just like, who knows what you're doing. Lina can go support, can go mid, can go safe lane farmer. We saw CTY do safe lane carry Lina the other day. Tusk, same thing. You can off lane, you can support. You can't really go mid or anywhere else, but it's very flexible with your lanes and setup.
So the Rubik grab by TongFu here in the second stage. Some good spells to steal if you can live through the snowball. And IG, I was going to mention this, but I feel like I've mentioned it every Chinese game I've cast so far. And I'm like, nobody's picking IO. Nobody's banning IO. Finally, they grab it. But IG is one of the teams that like to run it. Of course, they've got the IO Pioneer for the China region, Super, as their captain now.
And
Little Super.
We'll have to see if it's going to be the full-on IO Tiny. They run this without the Tiny from time to time, but in general with China, it has been the IO Tiny duo and a ridiculously successful duo as far as the last few months have been concerned statistically.
So how do you shut it down, GoDz? You expect quite likely a Tony is coming out of the woodwork now if you're TongFu. What's your play? Okay, you get Slardar. I know that's what you were going to say. You're making a face.
Yes, LD. Slardar, exactly. They just picked too fast for me to say they were going to pick that one.
Do you like the Slardar pick as a response to this?
Yeah, it's Slardar I think is really strong right now. He really fits the just general fast-paced tempo we're seeing out of a lot of games. Although it has been a lot more long, later games, at least today and yesterday, out of the Chinese scene. We had like all 4 games so far, even though both of the best of 3s were 2-0s, go like 2.5 hours with the combined game length. So it's been 50, 60-minute games. But Slardar, I don't really feel falls off because the later you go, that's where physical damage can become more important. A hero like Quap actually does decent physical damage with a few items. And even if you go for like the normal Ags, BKB, Shivers type build, you still right-click with those builds. So,
and this is a great vision draft as well. You've got the Night Stalker, Ags potentially at some point this game, and of course amplify damage. Yep. So very good for scouting the pesky tiny IO, perhaps even punishing them when they try to split push.
The one here I like more than Slardar is the Ember Spirit, which doesn't seem to be prioritized as much in China as other regions. Yeah, I feel like they're quite similar, and Ember's just the better kind of late game carry.
We haven't seen. I have not seen Maybe play yet. Has he been running the Ember?
He had one.
Because obviously at TI he was.
Yeah.
He had that just outrageous game against Cloud9 where I would argue, probably broke their spirits a bit single-handedly.
Earlier today, he was on the Shadow Fiend, I believe. I don't know if it was both games. And well, here's the counter Winter always talks about against the Iotiny, the Bristleback.
Oh, the 3 Tank Lords. The Bristle, Nightstalker, Slardar. So that means a support Nightstalker, I guess?
Yeah, I think they will actually be sending the Bristle mid against the Iotiny and running an off-lane Quap. Like, Quap Nightstalker lane, that's kind of brutal. Sounds scarier than a Nightstalker Bristle sounds decent, but I think they'd rather just send Bristle mid and have him just tank up as much as possible, try and endure against the Iotiny.
Now, I guess for IG, they gotta show, is this going to be a core Lina or support?
Yes.
Tusk likely to go off lane, your Tiny IO mid, and then Lina +1 for the safe lane.
I think Lina core works fine here. It depends if there's something else that they really want for. I actually seen Rabbit do the carry Lina once or twice. I'm trying to think when that was.
Yeah, I mean, Rabbit's known for
Frankfurt,
those.
yeah.
He's not really known for his hard carries. Normally, like the Juggernaut type heroes, Centaur back at TI4, things that get active early. So
yeah, and it's good because you're against line, but that's going to have a lot of physical damage and running at you. So you want to have that ability to kite them around a bit, have the range advantage, and Lina very fast and mobile. But another hero who has a ranged advantage and can kite, Viper. So puts Lina as a support, but it's a hero that kind of functions in a similar way to the
430 on the Viper.
Okay.
Oh, is Rabbit their Tiny player?
I guess so. I can't remember the last time I saw IG do the Iotiny.
I think they did a few, but it was not in the Summit.
Yeah.
We've been casting so much of other regions that I think we've actually not physically had time in the day to watch as many replays as we might like.
And even during the Frankfurt Majors, China was happening while SEA was going on, so we were kind of keeping a closer eye on the SEA games since they were a day ahead. So we'll have to see if Viper is going to be going mid or safe lane. Most likely, the Iotiny you'd prefer to send them mid. It's not like sending a Viper mid is going to dominate the lane necessarily, and I think Iotiny is still good against Bristle.
So let's see. What's the last time they ran the Iotiny? They ran an Io Juggernaut. They ran Iotiny, and it was Rabbit on the Tiny the last time. Okay, that's the only recorded game they have with Iotiny in the last 10. So it looks like Rabbit is normally the Tiny partner.
Fair enough.
Although, as I say partner, he's heading top.
And yeah, doesn't look like he's got mid items for now. So Viper, where are we at? Has 2 pull tangos, magic stick, has items to verse a Bristleback. So he's expected the Bristleback mid. U9 is the typically mid player for TongFu.
Are we going to see like that roaming IO, do you think? Winter and I cast one yesterday where... who was it? I'm trying to remember, and my brain is a little fuzzy. But there was basically an IO that started bottom, came mid, went to the top lane. It was Seneko for Navi. That's right. Thank you, Roland. So, do you think we're going to see something like that? Is this just going to be a straight Viper IO mid, or what are you expecting?
I'm expecting him to stack a lot of neutral camps. Okay. That's probably the one That's the one thing I can safely say. He'll be stacking a lot. If Viper gets harassed and bullied, like we may see one of the TongFu supports try and assist Bristle against Viper. That's where he may poke his head in mid lane, give Viper a bit of bottle regen. Since Viper won't be going for a bottle. So we may even see like a pseudo IO Viper for a little bit until Viper's winning his lane. It very much depends on how tough the Tiny's lane is going to be. And it looks like it is just a straight up solo Quap for now. Faith is around the mid lane, will be body blocking this creep wave, but whether or not he heads top or bottom is going to be kind of up in the air, or even just, as said, assist the mid lane.
Yeah, so early bounty runs for the Viper as well as the Bristle. Super, he won't get one, but he's just naked on the IO, so should have his own bottle and about 40 gold.
Yeah. Now
making his way top. So yeah, this is going to be kind of your jungle IO, I imagine, and that's where maybe Faith can punish this Gods. He's heading top as well, so it is going to be the Quap Nightstalker versus a tiny Lina and a little old ball.
I think
off
Faith
on its own.
may come in and block a big camp with this sentry.
Actually
blocks a medium camp. Not sure about that. They didn't even chop down the trees, so IO can't even do the double stack with both camps without chopping down those trees, which is a little bit surprising, but not the biggest deal. Bingo at top, forced to use an early blink escape.
Well, good job there, baiting out the Tiny's avalanche. Very low mana pool early on, so he did get some extra stats, which helps out, but no clarities. He'll be reliant on the bottle of Super. Not yet purchased, as currently mid lane 430. Just ferried himself some basic regen. He's going in on U9. But U9 has the one salve to keep himself alive for now.
Hasn't got any real... Like, he's getting out last hit, but it's still like you're looking at one or two last hits against 4, and getting the early harass is going to win you this lane when Bristle desperately needs his bottle. Although it looks like Bristle should be able to get to the bottle in fairly good time.
Quan with the stun onto Zex Bingo top lane. Rabbit. Oh, just out of range for the Avalanche there. That was actually fairly close, though. It is only a level 1 Avalanche.
Yep. And you talk about the roaming IO. I think there is potential for him to come mid. If 430 gets a boots advantage over the Bristleback, you have a tether and like maybe a level 2 Wisp with the Spirit Balls. You could find a kill. Similarly, you go bottom lane with a Snowball Ice Shards. Rubik's very squishy, so could see some potential kills.
Another Avalanche onto Zex Bingo. He's going to be forced to salve up already. So he's pretty much out of regen. U9 is as well, but the bottle's on its way. Super, yet to stack. He has a ward, and he is heading mid. No Radiant Hill ward, but the creeps are up the hill right now. Actually could work out beautifully for that first blood. U9, gotta be careful.
Yeah, 430 going for the Aquila before he gets any boots here. So I don't think there's a chance we see a bottle Viper. He'd rather just have the Wisp come in and regen his mana up. I think Super's actually... That's probably the best thing Super can do is just tether mid lane, leech a level 2 XP, and then start overcharging and healing up his mana and HP, but...
Yeah, or at least go stack, because he's actually wasting a lot of time here. And it looks like... I don't think they actually saw him make that exact rotation, but they do see he's not over in the woods right now.
He's also missing stack opportunities, which is a bit surprising. You've got a Tiny. Yeah, Viper doesn't farm stacks. Tiny sure as hell does, though. So a little bit... surprising to see him. I mean, this guy is very accomplished and knows what he's doing on Wisp in general. So I think he very much felt like he could come back top, and the Tiny was maybe under a bit too much pressure.
All right. Well, if Io's not going to help mid, then maybe Luo will, as he also makes a rotation. A little journey around the world. He'll ban in bottom. Now, there is a lane ward god, so this is probably going to be detected very soon. And he's going to run right past the Radiant Observer. Uh-oh, a lot of wasted time.
Yep.
This is a casual quad lane top at 3.5 minutes. And he's got full health and mana as well. And
I guess just
somebody just pinged it out.
I guess he was just expecting the Radiant Ward to be somewhere else. They hadn't dewarded it, so maybe thought it was the other side of the river at the rune spot or something. But yeah, that is wasted time. And they have pretty good info that he's headed back mid lane as well.
4-minute rune.
Yep.
What's it going to be? Super with the quick stack here, and does have 2 bottle charges left. His Faith thinks about a contest. That's a bounty rune for Luo. Bottom lane. The Bristle, he gets the sweeter treat. Delicious regen rune.
Handy.
All that work harassing him mid, and suddenly
Well,
he's back to full. He is not CSing particularly.
He was full without using it, so what IG can just do is go all in for a kill, and you don't get to use the regen, which they may do with Viper hitting 6 soon. Tusk is looping around, headed towards bottom, but I'd love to see him just go back mid. You get a kill on Bristle using the Viper Strike. Well worth it. Bristle has got no TP yet. I think next courier trip would likely send a TP out just so he can escape from a Viper Strike initiation.
Yeah, it's worth mentioning. U9's been stacking his own Ancients, not seeing any other stacks to speak of in the Radiant jungle, and surprisingly for Super, just one solitary double stack as they make the go top lane. Avalanche toss, Lina stun, and down goes the Quap. So at long last they get the Tiny's level 4, and good combo there.
Yeah, the patience kind of pays off, and if the Lina's ever in position for a stun and you can hit the Avalanche to set it up, Quap is just very squishy in this lane. Nothing the Nightstalker can really do to counterplay it as well. It's not like an Earthshaker where you can combo break with a Fissure. And they're going to start farming up this stack. Chuan, the one big thing I've noticed with like IG's play lately has just been that Chuan is playing a lot greedier overall, looking to prioritize his own farm and item progression and having a big impact on games just by being a lot more farmed, a lot tankier, having these items like Yules on Alina earlier, Ag Scepters, and not playing like a classic kind of dual support that we sometimes see from some teams. A very clear 4-position support for the IG squad.
Well, while this is all going on, Faith, it's nighttime. He's prowling, but there's a dire ward here. Saw him. And Luo's tucked away in the trees in a pretty good position. There's an amp damage available for Xingqiu. Already TP'ing in his super. The TP also available on Chuan. As Luo will poke his head out. He can go for the shards grab here. Doesn't quite connect. Still, he rolls forward onto Xingqiu. This might be turned on. No, gonna play it safe. They think about it. Now the lift. Follow up crush and bam! No, Luo's dead. Even U9 gonna rotate in.
That was Well played. Meanwhile, top lane, solo kill from Rabbit onto the Queen of Pain. Didn't catch that one, but you can always imagine how that happens.
And they forced out on top of that, in addition to that solo kill, they did force out the 430 TP bottom, so little me time for U9 on the mid lane.
Yeah, that's overall not the biggest loss losing your Tusker hero who's very much about the XP, but it didn't feel like he had to die there. He missed the ice shot and should have just backed off. It was the right time to go in. Slatter had used his crush cooldown on creeps, but when you miss the ice shots, you don't want to chase. They just wait for the crush to come back up, and then it's an easy telekinesis crush kill. All in all, though, for IG, it still feels like they're in control of the early game laning stage. Tiny's getting the farm he needs in the safe lane, although he is about to get ganked out. Queen of Pain blinks forward with the help of the Night Stalker. Oh, it's Luo, sorry, not the Tiny. On the toss.
Luo's coming, though. He's got the toss, the avalanche. Blink out cooldown for quite some time while that was happening. 430 did dive mid, gets the kill, but back to top lane where the avalanche barely connects on Bingo. Toss is also there, but he didn't get the full combo damage, so it's not enough. The Void from Faith trying to punish Rabbit while he's tanking the tower, but he has just enough durability to survive that onslaught. Survives, backs away. Bristleback dying solo, it looked like. Lena might have been there to help 430, although when I looked, she did not seem to be in position.
Lena has just the one assist, which was from the top kill, so it looks like
you really shouldn't die solo to Viper in general, because if he ever starts to get you low, you just TP out. But maybe just got caught off guard there.
The ancient stacks have now been warded, so if he ever goes for that, IG will be aware. And it's just a triple stack for now, not like a big 4 or 5 stack. I mean, it's still sizable. It's a good amount of farm for Bristle considering his start. Looks like Super will now find a DD rune to bottle up.
Yeah, and some regen as well that's definitely needed. So, GoDz, look at this.
Ooh, 8 minutes.
8-minute blink.
That's
Where does
handy.
NQ bring the pain first?
Viper's got 3 corrosive. I don't know if he's the target with a buckler, so not Viper, let's just say. Anywhere else.
Also, it's a Viper. Who cares?
Yeah. Tiny Tusk. I think just taking what kills, just getting quick pickoffs, backing off. I think TongFu are going to play like a hit and run style where they want to try and just catch out any hero by themselves. Like, we're at the stage of the game where Alina may take a lane to try and get some solo XP and farm. That's just the kind of things that a Slatter can punish right now.
He's going. Nope, not quite. And you can see Chuan in position. He wants to bait this a bit. He's expecting Xingqiu to jump in. So far, Xingqiu not falling for it as the shards come out, just taunting them, saying, hey, I don't even have shards to trap you under my tower now. Come at me. You should gank me. I swear, it'll be fine.
They even see him with the amp damage. The danger comes soon, though. Oh, Rabbit almost has a blink dagger and can TP in should they make that
top
dive.
Lane. Yeah, Rabbit's just fast enough, it seems like, to get away, but he is not killing that Bristleback at this point.
I imagine Rabbit's going to pick up a blink. This is how you kind of counterplay the fast blink on Slatter, is with a blink of your own on a Tiny who can TP counter gank. And Slatter's going to have to be very cautious about getting aggressive, because Sprint means he's going to be taking extra damage, and against the Tiny combo, this Slatter's going to look like paper.
Right now, he looks to me like he's in need of a remodel. Ugh. Ugly beast. This is, I guess they did the Zeus remodel, right? So,
yeah.
You know,
it's good cosmetics now.
Slidar's still the ugliest here in the game. No, this could be trouble. Great crush by Xingqiu, at least to try and keep his teammate alive. But still, the Tiny comes in, those shards, trapping LPC, and they chuck Xingqiu back into the shards. This is going to end up going down. It was a nice effort, but the +1 effect just too strong.
That was the pre-blink dagger. Very much a play that TongFu should have seen coming. Tiny had just been sitting top. He had 400 to 500 mana with 1 charges, so he had plenty of mana to TP and combo. They can't make that dive unless Tiny's used his spells at top, or like if Tiny combos at top, like when the Tiny went on the Bristleback on the tower, then they can dive. But they have to communicate and basically say, hey, look, don't go in unless Tiny's out of the picture, or someone can stop his TP, because that TP counterplay is just too straightforward for IG.
It wasn't even really a full dive. They oh, well, that happened. Rabbit's got his blink now.
Yeah.
It looked like the Rubik was harassing and then just got caught by the shard, so Xingqiu blinked in to try and save him, but then they both got caught under the tower, and yeah, it ended up poorly for TongFu. TP out. GoDz, they also have a mech already. 430. Getting the big items for the team. Level 10, just sitting mid, hitting creeps. Yeah, Viper might be a boring beast, but that doesn't mean he's not effective.
Just classic Viper plays happening right now. Nothing.
I don't know if there's anything classic about Viper, but getting a mech Around 11 minutes on this hero, definitely impressive.
So we'll see. Looks like TongFu kind of trying to make a rotation back towards mid. This is sometimes the problem you see with a lot of sliders. Like, you can get an 8-minute blink dagger, but like if you get an 8-minute blink, and I was looking at like where do you go? Viper was too tanky to kill. He almost would have been better off stopping off to get treads and magic wand first before the blink, because his team weren't really ready to fight. Queen of Pain wasn't even level 6, I believe, when he picked up the blink dagger.
Yeah,
so
she definitely was not.
that to me is where there's such a thing as getting too fast of a blink dagger if you can't solo kill with it. You're not a tiny. You're a slider. You need the follow-up damage from your team, and your team was not ready to fight. So I feel like this was almost overly rushed.
Just jump in. Almost
Barely
enough to
saved.
get the kill there. Just that extra belt of giant strength and the magic wand making the differences. He'll barely survive, but with the Queen of Pain going home, sent into detention, that means 430. It's a free last hit now up to 1,100 gold. Treads complete if he wants them. We'll see what the build is. Perhaps even that straight point booster could be the grab. Another smoke. IG hunting towards the top lane. Where U9's out far. Zinq as well. They've got the TP, and he's got TP bottom. So now basically a free tower top, if that's what IG want.
They want a looper. I think they might drop
Forget
a
about
ward and
towers,
go for a
guys.
jump.
They want kills.
Yeah.
And they are going to find Zex Bingo.
Yep. Easy, straightforward kill. I don't know if counterplaying this is really possible. Sada, TP bottom, yeah, so he can't even get in. He's got no mana. Okay, so he main goes up as I say that. And we'll be able to rotate with sprint, but no TP for the time
They're going
being.
in again. Another blink forward, tossing him back. Hey, U9, meet my team. I don't think they like you very much, though. Laguna finishes him off.
Chuan hit the stun as the toss landed. That was actually sick from Chuan. And then he has a Laguna from the front, so he didn't even get the bristleback damage block. That was so well played by IG. That was some sick execution.
It was so impressive that our cat Munchkin just started pawing me with excitement under the table. It's like, hey, I'm a Chuan fan. That was great.
Who isn't a Chuan fan?
I don't know. Anyone who's a fan of Team No Tail, I guess?
Oh, yeah, that's true.
They're going to find 430 here in the jungle. Well, I say they found him, but relocates online, which means suddenly 3-man dogpile appears. IG on the hunt. They've got the toss back. If Rabbit can just get in range. But Faith. You know, when Night Stalker's running at night, the way he moves his arms, it looks like he's like furiously like beating his way through water. Like he's just like, ugh, ugh, ugh. And he is going to jump in now onto 430 from the downtown. U9 gets chucked forward, but the Aya's here to keep him alive. Then the mech comes out. Rabbit with the backstep plays. Also on his Zex Bingo. That's 3 dead. Could be 4. TongFu massacred in their own jungle. U9, no TP. It's going to be a 5-man wipe. They just have to be careful about the quills from here.
Is this just GG?
Toss, Ava, and dead. And yeah, I honestly would not be surprised to see a GG any minute. This is brutal.
430 goes back for the Midas. I see this every now and then from the Vipers after the mech, just to you get this really big early game lead, and then you go back and secure your late game. They'll find another kill.
What late game? They're already there. Rabbit's got 1,500 gold. That's half the Aghanims and then some complete, and that's with the Blink Dagger rushes. Faith goes in. They do a vision, but he jumps away. They'll settle for Luo, perhaps. He even TP's out. Is there a way to cancel it? LPC just short. And now the TP from Translina also canceled. And well, this is the only window we've seen from TongFu in some time where relocate was on cooldown, gods, but now relocate's up. You go for that dive again, and they're coming in numbers.
And this has all been during nighttime the last few minutes. Like this Night Stalker pick hasn't amounted to anything.
There's a Night Stalker in this game?
I wouldn't have guessed it.
Yeah. You know, you mentioned the strength of the Night Stalker, Queen of Pain dual lane, but they didn't actually get any kills. He wasn't able to roam on mid because it's a Viper versus a Bristle. Like, just not a hero that's generally going to have trouble. And it's been pretty low impact overall.
Yeah, and it feels in the Chinese scene there's just a lot more emphasis on safe lane tri-lanes, which are just designed to do well against that kind of a dual lane. You've got a good chain stun with the Tiny Lina, so Queen of Pain can't really match up well there. If you go for last hits, Tiny can just throw an avalanche while he's trying to last hit. Like, because Tiny's always going to be in avalanche range if he's, as a melee hero, going for last hits, and Queen of Pain just can't really position outside of that unless you just accept the fact you're not getting farmed. But then that defeats the purpose of running the dual lane. So it really felt like IG were just like, let's just have our IO top, not stacking, not helping out mids to make sure that this off-lane dual lane doesn't get anything done.
You can see Chuan poking out a bit mid lane. He's going to go into the medallion now, it looks like. So perhaps IG looking for the Roche. They don't have the best natural Roche lineup. Oh, they're going to smoke almost immediately. It's broken. Except Luo's invis, so he's the one that's not scouted. Walrus punch there. Chuan jams it in. Quick kill secure. And only now does TongFu get... I mean, outside the Blink Dagger, their first item of any note of the game, and it's a Vanguard at 16 minutes.
Yeah, this is getting
Not
ugly.
sure if that's going to make the difference.
They need to go for 5-man ganks. This is the right direction. You want to head towards the IO +1, which is going to be the Tiny, because often the other 3 heroes will be off on their own away from the IO.
Found Rabbit. This could be big, but and then they
so
decided we
tanky.
don't like finding Rabbit very much. The relocate was a backwards one. Probably could have been forwards for a quick 3-hero takedown, but
Yeah.
better safe than sorry.
If they want to go on the IO Tiny and jump the IO with the Blink Dagger, getting a Blink Crash on Tiny is not good when IO's sitting behind with the heals and overcharge.
And he's already got the point in Craggy, so you commit on him too much for 3 melee bruisers, and that fight can very quickly turn sour.
And importantly, IG were actually bringing all 5 top. It's more if IG ever split up, which is like pretty common, where you split 2-3 with the IO Tiny relocating in to back up a 3-man smoke gank, which is what IG did. They 3-man smoke ganked and had IO Tiny at the ready to relocate. If that was when TongFu went for that gank, it would have been a really nice play, but the timing of it was just slightly off.
All right, one last hold for TongFu. They're going to 5-man at their tier 2. They are not split pushing. They are not farming. They are not warding. They are not trying to sneak Roche. They are just here watching IG run at them.
Yep.
As the Ags for the Tony will now come out. Very rare Tiny game where you see basically no stacking, no emphasis on farming whatsoever, and he just runs around killing things for 18 minutes. Even those games where Tinies get a fast blink in the European scene, there's almost always like stacks to fall back on, you know, like a plan B in case things don't go well. But IG, they said, screw it. We're just going to kill TongFu. We're going to beat up our old teammate Faith and show him exactly why he's no longer on the team.
Well,
Poor guy.
Yeah, this game 1 has been a pummeling. It's from the most ones, like China for the most part, all the matches have been very close. Even some of these, both 2-0 series today had some very close games out of Newbie Young, but this game right now, TongFu not really in a position to put up much of a fight with how far behind they are. Tiny IO have now relocated back in. It's daytime and Night Stalker he's not scary.
The bigger they are, the harder they fall, as U9 with the Vanguard doesn't even matter. Laguna facing forward, and TongFu get KO'd. Sub 19 minutes, 19 kills. That was ugly.
Yeah, about a 12k gold lead at the end there. Not the worst of gold leads that we've ever seen, but it was still a pummeling. That was brutal.
Not sure there's a whole lot more to say about it, GoDz. The Night Stalker Queen of Pain duel lane didn't get a whole lot done. Bristle naturally loses mid to Viper. At best can catch up with stacks. Then you've got a safe lane Slardar who got a fast blink, but had nowhere to gank.
I don't know if they were heavily outdrafted. I'm trying to think. Like, obviously, it looks like when you have this big a stomp, like you got outdrafted. Like Tusk even did some failed rotations early on, which didn't really get.
Other laning options would have been like Bristle off lane, Quap mid. Quap also loses to Viper. Bristle would not have done great against that lane,
I think
though he's a bit more durable.
Very much it was the lane setup. The Bristle is a good pick, but he needs to be in the lane against IO Tiny. I think they picked the hero entirely because they expected that Bristle versus IO Tiny matchup.
And there was no IO Tiny lane. IO was roaming. IO was getting runes. IO was not really even in the lane for the most part. Frankly, wasn't doing much for the first 3 to 4 minutes.
And if they sent Bristle to the offlane, he would have struggled there just as much because that was like a Tiny plus Lina with IO roaming. So it was, to me, just a smart last pick from IG and a nice decision to mix it up and not just tunnel vision like, oh, we got to IO Tiny mid, because that's what everyone does. So,
well, tough loss here. Maybe we see the IO ban at least phase 2 in game 2. Some teams have been banning at phase 1.